Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time once again. It's time for that podcast heard, well, around a few places, by tens of listeners. It's time for the Department of Understanding Humans, the podcast. That's right, the podcast, featuring your ringmasters for the day, that stupendous giggle-snorting gal Friday herself, Rachel Wynn, and now her co-host actually has a name, that cranky clown you love to adore, Kris Meyer. And on with the show!
D.U.H, Department of Understanding Humans, yeah!
Shalom.
Shalom, I sneezed at it.
Oh, it's that pollen. It's all that pollen going around.
There's freaking trees having sex on my car.
Evil tree sex is happening.
Hi.
Hello. Scoozy, how are you?
I'm good. Scoozy, you okay over there?
Scoozy.
What you doing? You dying?
Miss Scoozy. Yeah, well, you know, I have taken every dose of anti-allergy everything to try to sound normal. You know, nature hates me this time of year because they go, hey, we're going to unleash all the pollen.
Yes.
Everything you can hate and want to coat you.
Everything.
And now, thankfully, it's raining, and hopefully that will wash all the evil yellow goo away. But now we have the... I guess it's oak. I have a hard time with oak pollen, and now their remnants is what I call them. They're like little strands. Those little yellow, like mossy-looking strands are all over the place.
Wait, the ones that are kind of like it's almost like a string that has a bunch of little things on it.
Right. I mean, and it's just they're all over the place now. So.
We're surrounded by pine, and
pine's even worse.
Yeah, and so when the pine trees decide that they're going to have sex, it's like, it's just.
And if
clouds.
you watch the wind blow, they just go
Armageddon. It's just apocalyptic.
And it's just dust.
It's just horrible.
Looks like something bad out of a sci-fi movie that just. It's coming. It's coming. The mist.
Yellow snow, which is freaking, and it coats your car. So if your car is black, it ends up being like green, and then you can't. Like, I'm out of windshield washer fluid. It's so bad. I have to get more.
Oh, this is terrible.
Oh yeah, and then the dogs bring it in. We had we tore down the pool. Right. But Apollo likes jumping in the pool to rinse off all the mud and funk that he gets into. So it's kind of like a big trough.
A trough of water.
Yeah, and so I fill it up as much as, like, I only fill it up a couple inches because then I need to dump it because I haven't been able to find a ratchet or a wrench or whatever that's big enough to get around the little plug that sits in the bottom of the pool, which is why we got it, because you could just unscrew it and dump it and then fill it back up. But I haven't gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to get like a whatever multi-level crescent wrench or whatever to get that thing out. And so I fill it a few inches and then I'm able to kind of tip it and dump it. Well, I left the water in there for a few days and he had gotten in and out and we had a big pollen. And I walked out there and it was the water had this yellow tinge to it, and there was a line of like fluorescent yellow pollen that had collected around the edge of the water. And I just looked at it, I'm like, oh God, he's been swimming in that. And then he's getting, and then he's coming inside. Then he's getting on the couch. And then if I let him, he'll get in the bed. And it just made I'm like, it was just nasty.
Nice. Time to see how many sick noises Rachel can make in one podcast.
Well,
quite a few.
Some of us have to have some kind of talent.
Quite a few sick noises you can make.
So speaking of sick noises.
Oh, here we go.
So I have to say, I love Graham Allen. I love this guy. And so he got on a Twitter rampage about the Congresswoman Omar and her comments about 9/11, and he called the guy Crenshaw, I think his name was, a one-eyed freedom pirate. He's like, look at this guy. He lost his eye in battle. He looks like a one-eyed freedom pirate. And I'm like, love.
That's right. A former Navy SEAL.
Yes.
Senator Crenshaw. Or Congressman is he a congressman? I'm sorry. This is just, I know who he is.
Senator.
Is he a senator? Okay.
Or maybe he is a congressman, because it had something to do with the vote that,
right.
And now he's able to vote for something that's just now up, but the whole thing was just absurd of her, saying what she said, and then the New York Times like completely one-upped it. They're like, yeah, here's your did something by somebody thing. And it was like 9/11 all over again. It was the front page of 9/11. And that's the only thing that hurts, is that we have all had, those of us who have ever had any kind of suffrage as a result of 9/11, which is right. Like almost everybody, except for the millennials. But, anybody who experienced 9/11 looks at that front page and it's like, oh God, here we go again. But I understand why they did it. And I appreciate how they did it. And what's really interesting to me is now watching these media outlets turn on the Democratic Party.
Well, here's the problem as I see it. The Democrats elected, and people elected these wildly left. I mean, so far left that even their own party's going, I don't know you.
What the hell are you?
I'm going to look over here. Don't know you. And now the Democratic Party is sitting back and going, what did we do?
Yeah.
What did we do? We don't. Now they're really sitting back and going, crap, we're going to, Trump's going to be in power for another 4 years. Mm-hmm. Because they don't have anybody to run against the guy.
Nope.
And the young crop that they have, I mean, Ilhan Omar, whatever her name is, Omar. Oy. Not only to mention the fact that wonderful media spewing Ocasio-Cortez. Oh, dear God.
AOC's a winner.
You just wait for whatever she's going to say. She's going to go tour Kentucky.
Oh, God.
Which, that's not going to fly over well, because already the representatives of Kentucky, the U.S. representative, has said, you need to go ahead and apologize for calling those people that rely on coal mining nothing but environmental terrorists. You better apologize before you go to the state. She
didn't.
Of course she did.
Oh, my God.
She focused her Green New Deal. She mentioned states that were going to suffer, and, she's going to make them change. And Kentucky was one of them. I kind of hate to tell people, and there's this image of the South here, that we're all backwards and, sitting strumming banjos.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Hey, Bubba, I got all my teeth. They're in a jar in my pocket.
I understand. Like, things like Alabama football doesn't help us when, there's two fat guys. Yeah. Roll Tide, when there's two fat guys with a box of Tide and a roll of toilet paper going, roll Tide, roll Tide, roll Tide. Doesn't help us.
At all.
At all. The South we're a hell of a lot more progressive than given to. Oh, it's all racist there. Really?
Have you been here?
You've been here?
I live in Atlanta. I just as a sidebar, I live in Atlanta. I'm white. I'm the minority. Does that
You've been here lately?
I mean, come on. And I mean, there are Black women-owned businesses. Oh, wait. There's Black, Hispanic, Black, Latino, Asian women LGBTQRZPT whatever all over Atlanta. And they all work together, and they all work together nicely. But they're racist.
Yeah, but we're all just a bunch of ignorant racists down here in the South. And I hate to tell the rest of the country. Yeah, exactly. You useless cheetah monkeys. Let me tell you something here. The rest of the nation, you think we're the only area that has it? I hate to tell you, it's a hell of a lot worse in the cities north. It's just not shown and talked about. It's everywhere.
It's really interesting. I think there's more racism in the Northwest.
Yeah.
Now, I may have just done exactly what she did. But from my experience, I've heard from people who live in Ohio that they have more racist issues than we do here in Georgia.
It's a definite kind of counter to one another.
It's interesting. It's very interesting, and I hope she does apologize. And here's the thing:
no, she won't.
She won't, and neither will Omar. And these women,
because they're right and the rest of the world is wrong, even though they are wrong in their statements and what they have said and done. And as politicians, they should know that they're going to need those votes.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Let me ask you something. Okay, so do you think, because this was a theory that I had seen kind of passed around a little bit on the social medias, on the interwebs, do you think that this is a distraction technique? Like, is it possible that these two are making so much freaking noise to distract people from what really is going on with Pelosi and all of the other, veteran Democrats or veteran liberals that are progressive and trying that have an agenda? Do you think that they're being that smart, or are they just that either they're that smart that they're like, oh, use them to make a problem over here so we can go deal with this problem over there? Or are they that stupid that they brought these people in and they're letting them run rampant and they're not yanking their chains and going, oh shit, what did we just bring
You're
ourselves
saying
into?
The Kramer defense from Seinfeld.
I am?
The Kramer defense was, Jerry one time in the show said, Kramer, you're crazy. And he looked back at him with a straight face and goes, oh, or am I so sane you just think I'm crazy?
I love that. I'm crazy. I'm so sane.
And that's what it could be. Now, is that true? Not really.
Maybe they're using them as like, oh my God, look how crazy they are. Now we're not so bad, are we? We're the lesser of those evils.
Right. And I think really and truly, he asked that, is it a big conspiracy theory and that kind of stuff? I don't think so to a degree, because they thought, oh my gosh, we're going to have these young, progressive, liberal people and they're the future. Right. And then they've realized, holy shit, what have we done? We've backed these people.
I'm hoping that that's the situation. Yay! Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, look at her vote for the Green New Deal.
None. Okay. Zero.
People that even sponsored the deal with her went,
nah. Now you know. Oh God. Gosh, so crazy. So we did not.
So anyway,
we did not go see Marvel, Captain Marvel last night, or Shazam. We were going to go see them, one of them. We were also going to go see Hellboy. That was on our list. We didn't see any of those. We actually ended up, because Bumblebee is out on Amazon Prime. We came home and watched Bumblebee, and you know what? I was really impressed.
Really? Yeah, they said it breathed a lot of new life into the franchise.
So, have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't had a chance. But
okay,
I've heard just good things about it.
Are you a fan of Transformers?
I grew up in the 80s. I had them. Yes,
there
ma'am.
You go. Hello. So apparently, they got all the voice actors to come back for this.
Yeah, how can you not have
from the
Peter
cartoon.
Cullen?
Yeah, so they have Peter Cullen doing Optimus Prime as usual. They used the kid because in the recent franchises of the Transformers, Bumblebee has no voice. He's using his radio, right?
Right.
And they say in the earlier reincarnations of it that he lost his voice box, or his voice box was damaged in a crash. And so they actually expand that a little bit because this is his legacy story, and about how it's actually damaged and what actually happens and how he develops into, because this is the prequel. This is before the wiki stuff. And so
right.
I found it really interesting. For the very brief moment that he had a voice, it was the kid from Maze Runner, Dylan O'Brien. I think it was O'Brien. Yeah. And it really fit him. It really fit Bumblebee, because you're like, oh yeah, he's young, he's cocky, he's kind of, hey, I'm a soldier and I'm kicking butt, and it fit. And then when he lost his voice, it was so sad. And it's just, it was a really, it was a knockdown, drag out movie. You sit there and you're like, geez. John Cena, of course, is awesome. There's like one or two Easter eggs in there, as far as, remember the guy that kept coming in with the black hair? I can't remember his name. I'll have to look it up, and I don't want to clickety click while I'm recording.
Yeah. John Turturro's
yes,
character.
His character. They introduce him as
Seymour.
They introduce him as a kid. He's a young, like in his 20s kind of guy. A kid, but he's young. And I believe it's supposed, yeah. And so he's in there, and
S7, the
yes.
conspiracy guy.
Yeah, S7, and it's the whole military entity that's in this is S7. Is Sector 7. And so we were laughing about that. But the fight scenes are amazing. And they are true to all the other ones, where it's like they just keep moving. Like the fight goes on and the camera keeps moving. And you're like, duck. Geez, crap. Oh, really good movie. Really good movie.
The only thing I was just kind of disappointed and I didn't want to go see it was because of John Cena.
Why?
They're pushing him to be the next Dwayne Johnson, and I don't know. I mean, all I see is John Cena, the wrestler, waving his hand in his face and, wearing multicolored outfits, trying to be the next Hulk Hogan.
So here's my thing about that. John Cena's a pretty good guy in general. Everybody kind of likes him.
No, he is, and I rag on him a little bit, but he is. He's a decent guy.
He's a decent guy. However, he's not...
Anyway, go ahead.
He's not The Rock when it comes to acting. When you look at...
No!
Yeah! When you look at Dwayne The Rock Johnson, in everything that he's done, he still has a little bit of himself in it. It's still kind of that archy eyebrow and, hey, I'm The Rock. But he still kind of embraces those characters, and you can define and identify those characters not just by the pigeonholing of The Rock, right? Where like he's not getting typecast, because he's done everything from a tooth fairy to a hitman. I mean, he really is a very versatile actor, right? John Cena, sadly, I think is only ever going to be a military role kind of guy. I appreciate his efforts. He doesn't suck as an actor. I mean, obviously he had to do some acting in wrestling.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of like, have you ever watched a model who is used to walking a runway suddenly trying to act, and she still looks like she's walking on the runway?
Yeah, there was this horrible Cindy Crawford movie they tried to bring her in with that. And don't get me wrong, when I was a young man, Cindy Crawford, she still has it, but I mean, ooh.
The other model turned actress, Kathy Ireland. Watch them walk in a scene. Yeah. Watch them walk in a scene. They can't walk. They can't walk and talk. They can't walk and deliver their lines. It's very, like, they're stiff and they're like, I'm walking. I need to talk. I'm talking. I need to walk.
There's only a few that have actually been able to make that transition, like Rebecca Stamos or Rebecca Romaine, whatever her name.
Rebecca Romaine Stamos. She kills it. I mean...
She killed it as Mystique.
Oh, yeah. Seeing her painted in blue and her... Wow. Anyway.
Down.
Not that I'm a cougar for... Anyway.
Don't make me get the hose.
So it was interesting. The other thing that we've been watching, and of course I want to punch you for this because this is so your fault.
Go right ahead.
A couple podcasts ago, you told us about the miniature Peter Dinklage rotating and the Peter Dinklage.
Yes.
So we got HBO to get ready for tomorrow night's premiere, right?
Uh-huh.
Because we are a Game of Thrones fan. And we will do our best not to do that. Where'd it go? I heard it.
Audio difficulties. There we go. Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
Okay.
He's the star of the show. Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. It doesn't matter that there's Jon Snow and Daenerys. Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. That's right. Game of Thrones season 8. It's here.
Tomorrow.
We've waited. It's here.
So we're going to probably talk about them a week behind.
Yep, we're going to talk about them a week behind because
if we're recording on Saturday, watching it on Sunday, we're not going to, we're not
going to see it.
We'll see it Sunday night and we'll talk about it the next recording. So that's something that we're going to do for the next 6 weeks because there's only 6 episodes. I'm sure everybody's going to be talking about Game of Thrones. So whatever. Anyway, but we like it, so we're going to talk about it too. But so every time the opening credits come on, because
that's all you hear now, isn't it?
Yeah, we're rewatching season 7 because, just kind of like, all right, get us in the mood, refresh, remember some of the stuff that happened and where we're going to be. And, and so I sit there and I'll say stuff to the hubs like, oh, is this the one where he does that thing? And he's like, nope, it's the next one. I'm like, crap. Can we watch one more?
One, yep.
Can we watch one more? Can we watch one more? And we've done like 3 episodes in one night, which can get a little long.
Yeah, you start kind of going, whoa.
But every time that freaking opening credit comes on, we both sit there and we're like, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. I'm like, fucking Kris. Damn it. Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage. He's the star of the show. Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
Now, all of you listening will think about that every single time.
No, that's all you're going to hear. That's all you're going to hear. But here are, since we're gearing up for Game of Thrones, and it is the last season of Game of Thrones, 5 important questions for season 8 here.
Okay.
Number 1 question is, who will tell Jon that he's really Aegon Targaryen, and what's he going to do with the information?
Oh, he's already slept with her.
Okay. It's already happened. There has been the deed that shall not be named.
Okay, hang on a second.
Family.
Okay, so who knows? His brother Bran.
Samuel Tarly.
No, Sam doesn't know yet, does he?
Yes, no, Sam does know. Sam was the one that told Bran that he was born in Dorne, and it was Gilly that found out the information that the marriage was not that
it was annulled.
The marriage was annulled to the Martells, and that he had a binding ceremony to Lyanna Stark.
Right. So she mentions that during one episode, and he goes, "Oh, these stupid maesters, blah 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 blah," and he completely negates her. Right.
He completely just didn't realize it.
So then it's
because he's too busy in his books.
Right. He's too busy trying to figure out how to do other stuff, which that leads him to grab a bunch of books and leave. And I think they take the written record of that with them. And I think by the end of season 7, Sam is back in.
He's back in Winterfell. He's back in Winterfell talking with Bran.
And the two of them discuss the fact that Jon is...
No, his name isn't Snow, it's Sand. He was born in Dorne. And then Bran starts seeing it and goes, wait a minute. His name is Aegon Targaryen. He's not a bastard. He is the legitimate heir to the throne.
Which, and we were watching when we were, I can't remember which episode it was, but when after Daenerys goes and blows up all of the supply line. Mm-hmm. And comes back and she lands and the dragon, that was my first clue before I've never read the books. And it was
when the dragon acknowledges him.
When the dragon acknowledges him, the sniffing that he does and the letting him touch him stuff. Now, he kind of like got close to Tyrion, but he didn't.
And Tyrion had the same reaction.
Right. Tyrion was just kind of like, holy shnikes. But
there is oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Did Tyrion touch the dragon? I don't think it let
Tyrion did. He came close enough to touch the dragon, and since you said that, I was about to say there is theory that his mother, Aegon Targaryen, the Mad King, had a big thing for Tywin's wife, Joanna Lannister, had lusted after her. And there might have been a little, hanky-panky on the side, and that's how Tyrion came about. Tyrion may not be a Lannister at all. He may
that
be
would make a whole lot of sense. Do you think that they're going to clarify that in?
I think they will. If it gives any indication for the fans, they probably will. But you said, hey, the dragon with Jon. The very first clue, and it led up to this, was in season 1, the first episode where Jon's breaking away to go to the north, and Ned's with him. Or first or second, and they're talking, and Ned looks at him, puts his hand, he goes, "You may not be my son, but you are of my blood." He told him, "You may not be because he's a bastard, you may not be my son, but you are of my blood."
Now,
that was your first clue. A lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, because he's a bastard and he doesn't want to consider it a son." That was your first clue,
right,
to realize that something's not nephew. Right there.
So then, the Hubs pointed out something else about Robert Baratheon would have known,
right,
and also kept it a secret. He would have known that Jon Snow, because it was his sister.
No, Lyanna was promised to Robert.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, Robert was promised. It was that Lyanna and Robert were going to get married, and that was the whole reason that started Robert's rebellion. I'm sorry,
it was Ned Stark's sister.
Ned Stark's sister was Lyanna.
Then I need to correct the Hubs. Ha! No, just kidding. So then the other question,
Robert's rebellion.
The other question I have is, would that make Daenerys and Jon brother and sister or cousins?
Cousins.
Okay. So cousins doing things back then, it was normal.
It was
normal. They got married. That's why their family that's why they got big ears and their family trees are circles. Keeps the bloodline.
They don't have family trees. They have family shrubs. So anyway, the next questions you got to ask for season 8, important questions.
Question number 2.
Are either Cersei or Dany pregnant? Is Cersei really pregnant? Is Dany pregnant? You don't know. It seems to. Everybody goes, "Oh, Dany, shouldn't trust the prophecy that told her she was going to be infertile because blah blah blah." Her dragons were her babies. She always said that, mother of dragons.
Right.
Now a dragon is dead, or a dragon is now dead, sort of
undead, breathing ice.
Breathing ice. Cold fire is what it's bringing. The fire is so cold that it actually burns.
It's beautiful.
So Dany could have broken the prophecy with one of the dragons dying. Our third question that everybody's going to have to ask: is Tyrion in love with Dany?
Okay, along those lines, and I know you've got 2 more questions, but along those lines, you've got to understand that every man that is in her circle is in love with her.
And she friend-zoned Jorah. She
friend-zoned.
Take 2. Friend-zoned Jorah.
Mormont.
My Khaleesi, I love you.
Friend-zone.
Khaleesi.
Friend-zone.
I fought debilitating skin disease to be with you, Khaleesi.
Friend-zone. Are you healed? Serve me. Friend zone.
Friend zone, serve me. Are you healed? Are you all healed up? All right, great. You're going to go up with John.
Friend
and you're
zone.
Gonna go fight. Friend zone. You're going to go fight all these people with the rest of the motley crew of absolute badass warriors.
So Tyrion, while I do feel that Tyrion may have some level of deep affection for her, he killed his father not only just because he was going to execute him, but because he killed his one love. He made him kill his one love. Right?
Right.
So we've never known Tyrion to really be in love with anybody other than that one person. And so while I think that he has a level of respectful affection for Khaleesi, I don't think he's romantically in love with her like Mormont and Jon are.
Right.
Because Jon has a connection to her that's like, I mean, you see it the minute he meets her. It's like, whing, hello, they zinged. Mormont
they both had a connection.
They both zinged. Like, Mormont has, like, he has a lustful and romantical affection and love for her, but he also respects her and won't pass the friend zone, you know.
I mean, let's face it, Danny kind of used Zario Zaxis, the leader of the mercenary company. She was like, yeah, you just gonna be my play toy.
Oh yeah, but he loved her too.
He loved her too, and she was like, nope, you're not coming with me, you're gonna stay here.
Yeah, so it's like every guy, I mean, even Khal Drogo, even though she was sold to Drogo,
yeah, he loved her. He grew to love her.
And she grew to love him very much. So, I mean, who wouldn't love Jason?
Easy. I'm going to get the hose again.
No. Anyway, moving on. So, I honestly, and so to answer your question, yes, I think Tyrion might possibly be in love with her. But I also think he is in love with the idea of her as queen and sovereign, and so he really doesn't want anything to screw it up. I know at the end of that at the end of that episode, he's standing there like, I know what they're doing behind that closed door.
Right.
Brooding. But I think I don't think it's for jealousy reasons as far as love romantic. I think it's as far as fucking Starks. Like, he's gonna fuck this up. Maybe I'm wrong.
Our next question.
Number 4.
Will Dany go mad, full on Mad Queen? Will she take the mantle of her father Aegon the Mad? Aerys. Yeah. What? I can't think of the Mad King's name.
I know they're all AE somethings.
They're all kind of crazy, but I mean, we've seen it. I mean, we've seen the demonstration that she can do brutal violence like her father with. Okay, the whole Tarly. The Tarly
thing.
The Tarly thing. I mean, bend the knee and burn. And I mean, no, KFC time. Bam! Just burned. Tyrion is just pleading for them not to be burned, and nope. They're burned. Yeah.
Okay, so the son Tarly, Dickon. He ends up playing number 1 in the Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen the Umbrella Academy.
It's really good. You really need to see it. And when they were in formation riding on their horses and they had come to visit with the queen or whatever, I saw him standing there and I'm like, oh my God, it's that dude. And I paused it and I'm like, wow, where is he? Where is he from? Umbrella Academy. He's number 1. He's number 1. So go him. He moved on. Well,
Game of Thrones is launching a lot of careers. It's also bringing back a lot of people that you kind of forgot about.
So, also as a funny little tidbit, Kit, Jon Snow, married his wilding.
That's right, Rose Leslie.
Right. So they got married in real life. I first saw her in Downton Abbey as a maid.
Yep.
And then she left Downton Abbey, and then like the next season she was in Game of Thrones. And so that's kind of interesting. Brienne of Tarth.
Gwendolyn Christie.
She, first of all, she is adorable in real life. I don't know if anybody's ever seen.
Oh, she's stunning in real life.
She's hilariously adorable, but she's gorgeous and she does modeling. So she wears couture and does modeling. And she was they were doing their press junket, right? And like one day they had Maisie Williams and Sansa, what's her name? The girl who plays Sansa.
Right.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, so they had them on one day, and they were talking to them and laughing and stuff about, hey, so when you left, did you, like, take anything? Did you steal anything? And it turns out that there's a pivotal scene at some point where a scroll is used to make a big decision. Now, I don't know if she's referring to the one where Arya finds the scroll in Littlefinger's bed, or if it's something later in season 8. But she says that she took it. She took that scroll off the set. So it was kind of funny. But so the next day they had Gwendolyn on. Am I saying it right? Gwendolyn?
Gwendolyn, yes.
And so they were talking to her about everything that she had been doing, and they talked about some of the stuff that they did that she did in Game of Thrones, and they talked about the fashion walking and blah, blah, blah. And then every time they said something that made her laugh, she has this amazingly obnoxious laugh. It's like so horrible you have to love it because it's authentically her. And it's not like a ha 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 or that kind of British kind of.
Right, yeah.
It's actually very American millennial, if you think about it. It's
yeah, it's that cackling laugh.
I'm like, oh my God, that's horrible. Do it again.
If you do get a chance, when you want to see some comedy, there are old videos of Maisie Williams and Sophie Turner. That's who
Sophie Turner, that's it. Yeah.
They made little home videos of them together. They were like, I mean, they're still the best of friends, but they were gal pals on the set.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And there's funny little videos, like they go to the beach, they're in Spain or somewhere, and their cast is all having a beach day, and they're hanging out with the guy that played Tywin, and they said, we're gonna go hang with Pop Pop, and they kept referring to Tywin as Pop Pop, and there he is in a chair, and he's got his hat on, his sunglasses. He's like, look, you children, come here, no, stop that, no, I don't want to be buried in the sand, no.
Pop, Pop.
No. Pop, come on, bit. I'm not your... All right, I'm Pop. Come on. Yeah. He's just finally going, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, they have some cute... And they are best friends in real life. Okay, so question number 4 was, is Tyrion in love with Daenerys?
Will Dany go Mad Queen was 4.
Oh,
this
4
is the final question.
Mad Queen, Dany 4. I don't think she will. But I understand.
I don't think so. I think she's got enough to not be the Mad Queen.
And if she is pregnant, she might go a little crazy. But anyway, moving on. Fifth question. The
fifth question, and this is plaguing everybody. Where the hell has Melisandre been? Where is Melisandre, the Red Woman? Where has she been? The woman that burns little kids at the stake. Where's she been?
Okay, so she left in season 7.
After season 6, she was burned. She was banished from the north. And Jon said, "You got to get out of here. We'll ever come back."
Right. She came
popped
back
up in Dragonstone in season 7 to tell Jon, to tell Dany to seek out Jon, and had a disturbing chat with Varys.
She told
we haven't
Varys,
seen her since.
She told Varys she was going somewhere, and so so she went south to a different land. But she said she was going to be back because she had to die in this land.
She had to die in Westeros.
Right, so she will be back. I honestly think she will be back.
In season 3, Melisandre prophesied that she would meet the lethal Stark daughter again.
Arya,
so she may be going to Arya. She may be going to hang out with Arya.
Why would she meet her again? I don't. Okay, so. I don't know. I haven't read the books, and I don't know like how close it is to the. I know that they're holding close to the books, but somebody somewhere, I don't know where I saw this, on some of the many forums that talk about all of the Easter eggs and possibilities, they're thinking that Arya gets the Iron Throne.
Could be. And here's the unofficial question, and I think it's on everybody's mind. Will Jaime kill Cersei? I say yes, Jaime is going to kill Cersei.
You know,
I think he is, because it was prophesied that the younger sibling would kill Cersei.
And that doesn't necessarily
Jaime is younger by a minute or two.
Because they are twins, aren't they?
They're twins, but he was born like a few minutes later.
He was born second.
And after the whole ending of season 7, with her saying, no, we're not going to go help. You're not going to go up there. You're not taking an army. We'll just let them die and wait it out. And Jaime's like, the hell we are? It's wrong. We can't do this.
And so that brings me back to the question that you asked, is Cersei actually pregnant?
I don't know. She could be.
Because it wasn't part of that whole thing about her being queen, providing an heir,
you would
blah,
have
blah,
3
blah.
children, no more.
Right. That was a prophecy.
But, nothing says that she can't have a miscarriage.
This is true. And it could also be that she's lying, and maybe that's what makes Jaime kill her. You lied to me about this, you did this, blah, blah, blah. And I think it'd be interesting. I do think Tyrion, I honestly think that because didn't they say something about there's 3 dragons, there's 3 riders?
Yeah, there's 3 riders, 3 dragons. So the Night King is riding 1 dragon.
Right, but so then there's the question of, can Bran still warg the dragon, and can Daenerys still, because Daenerys is technically his mother, so can't Daenerys still end up controlling that dragon? Or
you never know. We'll just have to let it.
I'm so excited.
We'll have to let it play out and see.
Because the Night King controls whatever he rebirths. Right? So he gives new life to a horse. He now can control that horse.
Right.
If the dragon is dead and the bond is broken with Daenerys, then when he rebirths that dragon, it would be solely his. You would think. Technically, you would think. Then the other concept is, when Bran sent the ravens across the wall to see where the army was, the Night King pushed all the ravens away just by looking at them. Mm-hmm. He's dangerous, mofo.
There's a lot of rumor that the Night King is Bran. Or is Bran the Builder? Because Bran apparently keeps going back and forth into the past, and he might actually be stuck in that. But that's how it could own. We don't know. I'm waiting to see how this is all going to end.
How do you think episode 1 is going to start? Like, what do you think they're going to cover the most? Like, I want to know if Tormund's dead. I swear to God, if I have to go through season 8 without Tormund, I'll be so mad.
We riot if my ginger bearded warrior is dead.
Did you bring the?
Because I'm sorry, he's got to make those babies that conquer the world with Brienne.
Did you see? Did you see the Bob Ross thing with Tormund?
Yes, I have seen that. The best of Tormund is I'm sorry, from last season with the conversation with the Hound. Big blonde woman. And you mean the blonde woman? You know her? Brianna fucking Toth. Yes, the giant woman. We're going to make babies that conquer the world.
I love him.
She looks at him, she looks at him like she wants to stab him, cut out his liver all the time. And Tormund just keeps having.
We watched the fight, the episode with the fight scene between Arya and Brienne, and then Tormund walks up to her afterwards, like
sauntering up, like
she shoves Pod down, and he's like, "Lucky man." He's got to be one of my favorite characters.
It's still a better love story than Twilight. I don't care.
Really Whatever happens,
it's still a better love story. Whatever happens in the game and in the series, I don't care. As long as Brienne and Tormund end up with each other, that's all I'm waiting. That's all I'm wanting. Okay. I mean, and if it happens, it happens. But as a fan, I want those two to beat each other.
Okay, so okay, so you know that 50 Shades of Grey was a fan fiction created based on Twilight, right?
Right.
What if they took Tormund and Brienne and did a spin-off of Game of Thrones? Be like Wildings in the Night.
Giant babies conquer the world.
Gingers and blondes everywhere.
Kissed by fire.
Kissed by fire. They're fucking beautiful.
Beautiful. But the Hound, nobody loves the Hound more than the Hound loves chicken, okay? I'm just telling you that right now. He would kill you for a piece of chicken.
Do you think there's going to be a Hound and Mountain fight?
I hope so. I hope we have Clegane Bowl. I really do.
Clegane Bowl.
I am really hoping for that, because if anybody's going to beat the Mountain, it's going to be the Hound.
It is, yeah.
But the Hound is, the Mountain is now like undead or half dead or something.
Yeah, he's like zombified.
So my question is, what's going to happen if the Mountain meets the Night King?
Oh, good question. Now
he can't put him under his spell because he's already
partially dead. But he's not so dead that he couldn't rape a woman.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. I think he was just mostly dead.
Yes. I'm not dead yet. Mostly dead.
Because he wasn't quite dead when he crushed Oberon's skull.
Right.
He was just severely wounded.
He was poisoned. He was near death. Well, that's why Qyburn was able to do all his stuff. And, for a character that was spared by the North, boy, he certainly cozied up to the Lannisters really, really nicely, didn't he?
Of course he did.
Qyburn's a smart guy. I think he was a hell of a lot smarter than than Littlefinger. You thought Littlefinger?
Oh my God!
Played the game well. No. Qyburn plays the game even better.
Yeah, he does. Littlefinger, I like Littlefinger because okay. So somebody once said that people watch movies and shows and they go for the protagonist. They really are for the good character, the one that's trying to beat them all and win. I actually like some of the antagonists in Game of Thrones. Like Littlefinger. And, because he really is truly an antagonist. He really is truly a really evil character. Because he's so snaky and slimy and he's so good at what he does. Even on some level, Cersei. You hate her so much, but you kind of like her. Now, the only antagonist that has been in the show that I absolutely hated, and I'm so glad they're gone, was Joffrey, little douche canoe. He was a douche waffle of mega sorts. But yeah.
The only thing I'm disappointed is we didn't get to have more of Tyrion and Joffrey. More slapping, more insults.
I loved slapping. I loved when he slapped him.
Slapping. He not only slapped, he just beat Joffrey. Slapped him
a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times. Of course, like the second episode, he smacks Joffrey like 3 or 4 times. And then when Joffrey is losing his shit when the people are rioting, and he goes, "You can't talk to me that way. I'm a king." And Tyrion just hauls off and smacks him. He goes, "Look, I've slapped a king. Did my hand fall off?" "No, it didn't."
I love Tyrion's perspective on things. He really has a good perspective. And I love that he says, he's like, "I drink wine and I give advice. It's what I do."
I drink and I know things.
It's what I do.
I drink wine. It's what I do.
Who would you like be absolutely heartbroken at this point if like episode 1 they die?
Tyrion.
Yeah, that's true. Did you see the Maisie Williams April Fools on Jimmy Fallon?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Google it because I'm not going to do it justice. But basically, he sits there and Jimmy Fallon's like, okay, is there anything you can tell us? Anything at all? She's like, no, mum's the word. Can't say anything. Nothing. I've just not even talking about it. And then he's like, okay, all right, I get it. I understand. So moving on, is there anything like, how did you feel at the end of season 8? You know, how did you feel saying goodbye to your cast members and crew and things like that? And she's like, you know, it was really heart-wrenching. I was really upset. I was really, you know, it was really truly not traumatized. What did she say? It was an emotional time, and, you know, saying goodbye to my cast and crew and da-da-da-da. And, you know, I mean, it was just so hard because we had been through so much. And when I found out that Arya dies in episode 2, I just, oh, and she covers her face, and she, like, legitimately you think she's absolutely meaning it because she plays it off so well. And he's like, wait, what? And she was, oh, can we edit that? Oh shit. Can we edit that? Oh my God. And like, they play it out so well, and then they come out at the end and do an April Fool's, but you sit there and you're just like, oh. So
that's great.
It's hilarious. Google it.
Okay, I'll have to give it a watch.
Maisie Williams, April Fool's, Jimmy Fallon. So freaking awesome. Okay. And then of course people use that as clickbait because they're like, oh, Maisie tells everybody that Arya dies. And technically she does, of course, but it's a joke.
Well, we'll have to give that a watch-see. Let's see what goes on. Now,
I have to give it to the Game of Thrones cast. They're really having fun with not giving it up.
Oh, of course.
Like, Kit was on, he did Saturday Night Live. He was hosting Saturday Night Live. And he did, I didn't watch the whole episode. I just watched his monologue. And he's standing there, he's like, hi, I'm Kit, da-da-da, Game of Thrones. I've also been on this. I've also been on that. And then somebody raises their hand in the audience and they're like, can you tell us a little bit? And he's like, no, I can't. I really can't. And then one of the actors stands up. The guy who plays Sam. And he's like, so do you think we'd still be good friends after this? Like, can we hang out? Can I come over? Yeah. We'll make it happen. And he's like, so how about next Tuesday at 5 a.m.? He's like, I think I'm busy then, but we'll make it happen. And then Amelia stands up. Oh, do you think? And everyone's like, woo! You know? And then his wife, Rose, stands up and she's like, so darling, how are we going to make money now? How are we going to pay bills? Now that season 8 is done, how are we going to pay bills?
How are we going to pay bills?
Because we can't just Uber Eats everything. It was really cute.
Oh, goodness.
So, yeah. That's all. Yeah. I got nothing.
I got nothing more.
I mean, we could go and we could talk about the political crapshoot. I think everybody's tired of that. We're all excited about Game of Thrones. We're all excited about Avengers coming up. We're all excited about these distractions that are created. Hey, we're all good for that. I don't want to talk about Alyssa Milano anymore. #stupid. No. I'm just done.
Yeah, no. Thanks. I don't want to talk about her either.
No. So I think we'll end it on Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage.
So Sunday, season 8, the final episode of Peter Dinklage is the star of the show. Peter Dinklage. I messed up the words that I made.
Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage. Who cares?
Who will?
So now, let me ask you something.
Ask.
I'm gonna.
This will be our last question.
This will be our last question. Do you think? I'm almost tempted. Like, do we wait till next week, or do we have our own Game of Thrones recap?
Well, next week is Easter. Might be a little bit busy.
Oh.
But we could have a recap here Tuesday. We could have a special recap Tuesday, or Monday, if you prefer. We might put out another podcast here Monday or Tuesday, depending on time, in a recap of Game of Thrones, so you guys are not waiting on bated breath to hear. Because, I mean, it's so damn important to hear what the hell we have to say about Game of Thrones.
It really is. It really is, especially for those of you over in Australia. Who are a day ahead of us anyway.
That's true.
You're in our tomorrow. Yeah, but everybody's going to be talking about Game of Thrones.
Everybody's going to be talking about Game of Thrones. It is the episodes. It's the last season.
Yeah.
All of the show. Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
That's a podcast. Say goodnight, Kris.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Good night.
Thanks for joining us here at the Department of Understanding Humans, also known as DUH. Just remember, this is our circus. These are our monkeys. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other social media outlets. You can find all of our podcasting streams and feeds at our website at www.dawebsite.com. That's D.U.H website.com. Thanks again for joining us, and have a great day.